from the DTI. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you very much.
Now, this is part of the national strategy to assist the creative industry. Will the Thohoyandou meeting bring solutions to the problems that have been raised before? Are you basically trying to determine what the problems are there by doing this?
Well, we had a meeting with the industry back in 2009, so we already know what the problems are, but now we are trying to come up with solutions. We had a workshop in 2010 wherein we had some commissions where we discussed as to what needs to be done in order to alleviate the plight of the creative industry people. So we've got the formalization workshops which have been taking place around the country. We've gone to most provinces now. This is the second round going to Limpopo.
Yeah.
They requested that we go back again into Thohoyandou. So we're having a second round with them.
Let's talk about the problems. What are they?
The main problems which are experienced by the industry are they are not formal. That means they're not participating formally in the economy. And the other thing is that they don't pay taxes. There's no royalty payment. They've got basically the contracts which they have in place mean that they don't get much out of their royalties.
Yeah.
So we're trying to sort all that out. A commission was put in place, a copyright review commission, which was headed by Judge Ncwana. That came up with recommendations that we need to at least implement a system whereby we'll have one super collecting society for each right, so that people can get to share. And we are trying to at least also to get them not to sign contracts without understanding. We're trying to educate the creative industries that if before you venture into any deal, look at the contract, don't sign anything or take advances without knowing what the consequences will be.
I mean, copyright royalties is an issue that is not, I suppose, just isolated to Thohoyandou. This is throughout the country, and I mean, you find musicians that, you know, they come up with the most amazing things, and yet I'm just sorry, I shouldn't say just musicians. I'm talking artists in general, and they die poor because they just don't get money for their incredible work. Yeah, this is something that needs to be worked on very fast, I imagine.
We are moving very fast. In the sense, our copyright laws are quite old. They date back to 1978.
Yeah.
So we're in the process of reviewing our legislation, whilst also busy with this process. And the fact that they die poor, we also coming up, because they don't get to save much. Some do, some don't. They don't have pension funds. So the Department of Social Development in this whole process is also assisting us with coming up with a social security system for the creative industries. So something which will be tailor-made for them too.
What about access to financial support?
We've got incentives in place at the DTI and the other partner departments. Department of Arts and Culture has got some incentives in place, but we've got an incentive on film industries, and we also have an incentive around your grants and on cooperatives. So those ones, one will have to come up with a business plan, and that proposal will be taken into consideration, and the department will either grant if the department's got such a scheme. But we've got schemes which allow people to get funding.
Yeah. I mean, another issue, there's so many issues. I mean, that's why I think what you're doing is vitally important when it comes to protecting artists. But, you know, the other pressing issue is protecting the artist's intellectual property rights. What's happening on this front as well?
Well, during these formalization workshops, we're actually also trying to teach them what is protected. They need to know that they've got copyright in place, which comes automatically. And the protection, we tell them how long the protection lasts after the death of the artist. So you'd have 50 years, for example, wherein royalties will be collected and your beneficiaries get to benefit from that. We also informing them about your trademarks, because they need to portray them as brands, themselves as brands. You don't just go out there without protecting the brand you are. So they are encouraged to be protected as brands, and also looking at those. There are other people in the creative industries, for example, those who are in the fashion designing, they are also covered via designs.
Yeah. Finally, let's, I think, talk about the bigger picture. How do you envisage the creative industry actually contributing to the economy? Because there is so much that can be done.
Yeah, there's quite a lot. Actually, in 2010, we conducted some studies in conjunction with the World Intellectual Property Organization, wherein the results of the studies are that South Africa creative industries contribute about 4.11% towards the gross domestic product and 4.8% towards employment. So seeing that the industry is not formal, by formalizing it, I think those numbers will increase drastically. We'll see a difference because people will contribute and participate formally. And we didn't get much stats during that period because the industry is not formal.
All right, let's leave it there for this morning.
Okay.
Simphiwe Ncwana, thank you very much for talking to us about this. Simphiwe is from the DTI. All right,
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Keep sending us your tweets.